What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. It's Elliot Brightslide again. Tonight's a little different, obviously not driving here in my garage. I just want to update you guys, my supporters, for what's coming in the next couple of weeks and the 2025 season. So it is October 2nd right now, 2 years almost to the day that I won first place at the Drift League back in 2022. A little different situation now. It has been a crazy couple of years of competing, and I've had a ton of fun. And we're actually competing this year again at the Drift League. We made it to round one, round two, both at Willow Springs Raceway. Round one at Balcony, round two was at Speedway. Ended up pulling out third place on the first stop after barely getting, we actually didn't get any practice, just barely made it through qualifying. And yeah, took home third. Podium was awesome. Congrats again to Carson and Jackson for taking home first and second. And then second round just passed. Some of you may have watched that video. If not, check out that video on my page. If you've watched it, you know that we didn't go too far. We lost to Jackson Orr. Had a lot of fun in the fray, but just wasn't able to keep it tidy enough to stay and move on to grade 8. That being said, round 3 looking ahead is in about a week and a half. And it'll be at Willow Springs again at Horse Thief Mile, which I love that track. Although I've had a pretty bad spill there, I've had some really fun track days before and after that. And I really love the way that course flows. I think it suits the Mustang really well, kind of like Balcony did. But unfortunately, I will not be making it to round 3. The reason being is that a good friend of mine and colleague is actually getting married that day. I did tell him when he invited me that I might not make it to his wedding. That being said, it depended on me being in contention for the license at the Drift League, which after the results from round 2, I no longer am. As much as I want to drive and compete as much as possible, I don't want to miss my friend and colleague's wedding, which is going to be a ton of fun, and hopefully he doesn't get married again, so it'll probably be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for them and certainly for us as a collective. As rare an opportunity as it is to win a license and to drive at Horse Thief Mile for competition, it is not as rare as some of these personal moments that I have been missing on because of drifting. That being said, I don't have any regrets about the past few years focusing so much on competitive drifting and elevating to what I would call a semi-pro level as far as my program is concerned. That being said, I wanted to update you guys so you're not wondering why I'm not at the Drift League. Round 3, just kind of clarification for those of you that are on this journey with me. Thank you to those that are. If you're here, you've probably noticed we are doing a bit more on YouTube, and I plan to continue that. It is off to whatever kind of start you want to call it. I wouldn't call it bumpy, but maybe not as professional as some of my other colleagues, but we'll sort that out. I plan to bring more content for you guys on YouTube that is a little bit of higher quality. That being said, I want to talk a little bit about the rest of this season and next season, 2025. I am also competing at Hot Pit, and I haven't missed a round. We just finished round 4 last weekend. We are now in 11th place in the championship. We had a really strong 4th place finish at round 3 that bumped us up to 8th. We didn't get past top 16 last round, losing to Margaritas. Margaritas did just come off of a 2nd place finish at Formula D Pro Spec Utah, I believe. So he's on a hot streak. I don't feel too bad about losing to him, but it did bump us down to 11th. We got to keep 16th or higher to stay eligible or to keep a guaranteed spot for next season. More and more drivers are coming to the Hot Pit circle, and the level is just continuing to elevate, which has been so much fun all of this season. We've been to Irwindale twice now. We'll be back there for the final round in November, so check us out for that. We went to Kern County, which is brand new to us drifters, which was super fun, very similar to Irwindale, but bigger banks, or more steep banks, I should say. Spent last round at Orange Show Speedway, which is basically where we spent most of our time last year. And it's been a ton of fun. The level of driving, like I said, has been elevating. My driving, I think, has improved a lot this season, taking the supercharger off and focusing on suspension, weight, and just the way I control the car and how I mitigate a little bit of that Mustang aggression in transition. I think last round was a really big turning point for me that way, just because of it being a course layout that we ran last year and this year, so I could really compare my driving style from last year to this year. That being said, the Mustang has been through it. If you have come along this far and been with us since the beginning, you know that that car has really had its work cut out for it, from multiple drift weeks to probably like 20 rounds of competition now. And the boys at Mad Science Garage have done a great job taking care of it. Pack as well has taken a great job of taking care of me in the car at competition each round this year and for the majority of last year. But I do feel like the car needs some time to get a proper full refresh. And at the same time, kind of on that same note of missing a friend's wedding potentially over drifting, as much as I love drifting, I realized recently that I haven't had a lot of space for other stuff in my life. It's not that I don't appreciate or that I regret any of my experiences or the time I've spent drifting. I wouldn't change any of it. I have loved every second of it. But I will be turning 32 later this year, and there's some things that you're supposed to do before you start having kids and really settling down to your forever home. I love this house, but I do have some more aspirations in life, and I do want to go and see more of the world. So me and my wife will be doing a little bit more of that in 2025. I'm not stepping away from drifting, but I will be focusing on refining the Mustang, cleaning it up a little bit, really attacking next year with much more purpose. And that goes into content creation as well, which again is part of why we're doing the YouTube thing now. I plan basically in all aspects of my drifting program to trade quantity for quality. Not that I haven't had quality laps every time I go out, but I've definitely been focused on just get to as many things as possible. Kind of had this bloodlust for competition and chasing this dream of a license, and just cranking out Instagram videos every day for months at a time, which takes a lot. I'm hoping to focus more on longer format content, kind of like what you're watching right now and the other vlogs you may have seen from our other days at the track, instead of cranking out media every day for months at a time. That being said, competition is another place that things will change. I do want to compete next year. I don't know exactly how many rounds of competition I will participate in. I still want a license, so if there's a shootout, that'll probably be a pretty high contender. But I also really love the vibe at Hot Pit Autofest. I can't say enough good about those guys. I put them on the team shirt and merch this year because of how much I love and appreciate the opportunity that Jeff and RJ have created for me and so many other drivers locally and in the immediate area. I mean, we've got guys that were coming out from Idaho, like Rudy and his wife. Really, want to take a moment and say thank you to those guys and to Hot Pit as a whole. Same thing goes for the Drift League. I know Rathina and Mark have worked hard to come back and bring Drift League back after a couple years off. I couldn't be happier to have so much competition at my hands. I do want to spend a little bit more seat time in my driving than competition alone can offer. And so if I'm going to be reducing the number of days that I spend on track in a year or weekends, then I need to increase the number of laps that I get per day. And the only way to do that is to trade competition days for either exhibitions, ride-along events, or just practice days with the boys doing privates. So I haven't totally figured that stuff out yet, but I'll definitely keep at least one round of competition. I do plan to do a couple of fun exhibitions, hopefully a Grid Life. I think Fuel Fest should make the cut, at least the Los Angeles event that we've been going to for 3 or 4 years now. It's really a fun one, interact with the crowd. We'll see what else we have time for. There's a little 215 tire series down here called Ultimate Drift Challenge, I think, or Ultimate Drift Series, UDC. They do some toge events, but I would like to make it out to that 215 series. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but they also do a toge. I don't know if it's that toge or the Drift Appalachia or one of the others that we'll go to, but I am setting a toge event within my goals for next year. So specifics haven't been worked out, but lucky for us, there are a few toge events now. So we'll keep an eye out for, as those calendars come out, communicate and sort that out for next year. Back to the UDC 215 series, I did get another car. I haven't quite revealed it yet. It's not sitting right there. It's actually at Templar Wraps right now, getting a little love, which we'll show you later. But that car is what I will be competing at UDC with, at least for one round. I say that pretty officially. It hasn't been officially worked out, but it is high on my list. It did factor into which car I purchased, so that's a little bit of a hint. I won't give too much more else away. But the other big thing that I have as a goal for 2025 is another Drift Week. It's actually a little bit sore because Aaron's planning or is about to start Drift Week 9 right now. Ben is going, Fielding's going as always. A bunch of other cool drivers are going to be there, friends of ours. And I really miss the vibe at Drift Week. A big factor in my purchasing of this other car was something that would turn more laps with less consumables and not be something I worry about so much while doing fun days, both at tracks like AVS locally, but also through the country on another Drift Week. So we'll do a little bit of a reveal, but that's my overall goal for 2025. And I hope you guys aren't too disappointed about that. I hope you're stoked actually, because of there'll be more driving in theory, just fewer days, and we'll actually be able to interact with more of you because we won't be so focused on competition where I really don't have time to hang out, and we'll be doing more exhibition, mixing with other drifter type of events. So I'm really stoked to kind of diversify, get back to a little bit to basics, honestly drive something other than my full kill mode S550 comp car. So I don't think there is a car that's more fun than the way I've got my S550 set up, at least for me, but we'll see what we can do with this new edition. So if you guys have things you want to see us do over the next year, please leave it down in the comments. Please subscribe, please like this video. Check out our sponsors, we've got them in the description. If you're looking for parts, service, down in the SoCal area or around the globe, frankly, we've probably got a referral for you. And I probably have a code listed there to save you some money. So check it out. Hope to see you guys on the next one. See you soon.